The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
It's time to check in with CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor, Nick Day, who also happens to be the editor of CoinDesk, the State of Crypto newsletter. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
So, our buddy Senator Lummis is filing something on behalf of banks. Go into a little more detail here because we always like to keep on track on what she's up to.
Yeah, so this morning, 7 Republican lawmakers, including Senator Lummis, as well as Senator Kevin Cramer and Senator Steve Daines, and 4 lawmakers in the House of Representatives, filed an amicus brief, so basically a Friends of the Court brief, in an ongoing lawsuit between Custodia Bank and the Federal Reserve. So the background here is Custodia sued the Fed a couple of months ago on allegations that it had breached a mandatory 1-year deadline to make a decision on whether or not Custodia, formerly known as Avanti and headed up by Caitlin Long, should have access to the Fed's master accounts. This is important for Custodia and for other aspiring crypto bank applicants because it would give them access to the global payment system, give them the ability to offer a lot more services and tap a lot more liquidity than they could otherwise. Custodia alleges that the Fed should go ahead and approve it, basically. But at the very least, they should have a decision by now because it's been well over a year since they filed their application. In the brief this morning, the lawmakers said that, first off, the Fed shouldn't be in the business of deciding whether or not it wants a certain company or type of company to be a bank. It should look at, whether or not the application meets the requirements and, approve it if so. Basically pressuring the Fed to approve Custodia's application, as well as, again, look at the whole timeline aspect of this.
And is that, it's unusual. You said more than a year, but does that mean that we don't even know if they'll actually move anytime soon on this, correct? They can get as many amicus briefs as they want, but do they have to move quicker or?
Well, so here's where things get interesting, to me at least. The Fed last year put out a request for comment on a proposal on how it could assess new or novel chartered bank entities. Basically, they didn't say crypto, but crypto banks. They wanted to get a sense of what factors they had to look at. They put out published, finalized guidance earlier this year, shortly after Custodia sued. So the Fed, it does seem to be at least considering this possibility that, crypto banks could have access to the master accounts. The question now is, is it taking too long? And I'll be honest, I'm not totally familiar with the law here, so I don't know if the Fed is absolutely required to approve it. But it certainly seems like they have been, behind the scenes, at least putting in some of the work to assess these companies. What that means for Custodia, I think it's still too early to say. The Fed has filed to dismiss the lawsuit, and I think the next step is probably waiting for a judge to either schedule a hearing or make a determination based on the filings already in play.